most welcome to the Voice of Evolution. I've been a bit backstage. I've been going through a lot of experiences while connecting to people from many, many different backgrounds and seeing the bigger picture within, and that is really getting to the point of self sustainability. And it's up to the people, it's up to our power to just do that, right? No. And it's not about, empowering self and getting into that old consciousness and changing your brain waves. That's all good stuff. But how to do it, that is really the nucleus of science and technology meeting spirit. Because we are moving from dual consciousness into full-time triangular equations, which is actually moving out of the binary system. And so if we watch society and all we see is traumatic diseases, frustrations, angers popping up, anxiety, fears, name it. And so it's about time we changed our genetic codes and all that old consciousness that is actually survival into self-sustainability, and that comes through knowledge, that comes through applications. And so meeting up with a lot of people from many years ago, like they were all interested in creating their authentic self, meaning reorganizing your organism to its origin actually. And that is, you should all see it as big fun. Even for those people who never meditated, understand meditation is nothing but medication and having fun with your spirit and your direct connection to your source. Because if you feel all these other sources connecting to you, communicating, then you have big fun, and then you can override any old consciousness, especially low mentality, the lower degrees, because everybody has a mental disorder on this earth plane. There is not one single person that birthed on the earth plane without experiencing some level of chaos actually, or a disease, so to speak. So here it's important to gather people, which I'm doing right now in Belgium, and to bring through new health and new education, which is the new science on this earth plane, because it will come from us. We do not depend on the old scientists. We do not depend on anybody. And once you get that, and you get out of the newscast, and you get out of everything that is being spread on social media, you can see fit to make actually new decisions and to create along us. And that is when joy comes within. So every feeling, every thought form in the body is just an electronic. We are nothing but electrons moving that through the water of the body, right? The body is all water. The body of earth is all water. So the highest level of technology you can apply through meditation is actually within you. It's a matter of aligning and rearranging the nervous system completely, the circulation of your bloodstream, and thus rearranging with what you feed yourself with, not only mentally, psychology, but also the natural foods that will come back. So we are actually from now on in the month of September opening brand new consciousness, and that is big, big time transcendence, not the TM, airy fairy style, but really getting to the point with working with the earth, all other planets, working with the galaxies and getting that done in your everyday life, that is so fantastic, that is magic, and that is super, super, super interesting. And so we can offer people this time around an easy time to transition for those who can actually now take the decision. It really needs you to decide how you define your everyday experiences. Because if you can set that, you have that brain power in the morning through your communication with yourself and your source. You need to communicate with yourself and getting out of the old recycles, meaning you repeat old thought forms all of the time, and that makes you feel like a frustrated person. So meeting up with yourself, with your source, through directions given through knowledge. Knowledge is really needed in every education. Then we can meet up with energy efficiency, which is self-sustainability. And when we have self-sustainability within, we can co-create with everything in the cosmos and ground that, and that will become the new science on the airplane, which many have been working for. And but it needs to be installed within first, because if we cannot have that within, then people oftentimes they get to blame other forces, and there's nothing to blame, there's nothing to judge. There is just many open doors, open windows to change self within and reorganize or invert everything that has been inverted in the wrong direction in duality, actually. And so I can see many people trying out some fitness, some yoga, some diet, surgery. There's so many levels that do not help for the solo reason, like when your own energy within has not been addressed, anything you try from the outside forces cannot kick in. So that level of understanding goes very deep. So when we change or eliminate, evaporate frustrations, angers, distress, any disorder, malfunctioning, especially in the divide of the hormonal content in the brain, then we can redirect the entire electrical output and the level of perception, the level of thought forming, and we can co-create with higher forces and sources and ground that intelligence. Everybody wants to be more intelligent, and knowing how to quickly resolve stuff in your life and offer a solution. So once the first level of elimination has been done in your consciousness, in your brain waves, then of course the outer world will respond quite differently, because you also start to remember skills, powers, authenticity, and so you will see that light through the breathing system can actually completely reshape your life, and that needs to move from knowledge into intelligence, into more applications. And so, you know, if we look at a car and the motor mechanics get stuck, then you need a new motor, right? When the oil has not been refreshed, You need to refresh the oil in order for your car to run smoothly. Same goes for the water of that particular car. So why is it that people do not change their oils, their water in the body, especially we're 85% water in the body? And so the motor mechanics with just the heart is the only motor that you have. Get stuck, get strokes, get many diseases in the blood circulations, and many other diseases such as cancer, malfunctioning in the bone construction, the muscles, I mean, they move into atrophy, and so nothing runs smooth because it has never been educated. So it should be the first level of education in any school, certainly schools that are moving into technology, emerging with the science. Then when we make the brain and the body energy efficient, meaning we evaporate to the only living light force we have, which is your breath. So when the breath doesn't circulate until you feel it to your fingers, your hand, and your feet, and you feel it circulating even through the ground floor in your home, then you have nothing to cling on. So that can be done in a short amount of time. In the latter days, it would take months, years, and years of training. Right now, through a simple light body teaching over 4 to 7 days, you can completely rearrange the molecular construction, the cellular construction into light parts, and then you become light waves. And that is where information, intelligent forces can ground. You can help them ground. You especially can heal out everything because it can be taught, and new technology such as the application on your iPhone comes through. It's a matter of reading that technology through, have it circulating, and commanding, becoming the commander of your army, meaning the cells will listen to you because you are the only person that is in charge of your own change. And that just takes education and how to move into the knowledge and the intelligence. And so as people are afraid to move into that, like through online and simple meditation, then I would suggest just to try out some foundation into light and learning to breathe through light frequencies, and that already brings a lot of changes. So also I see a lot of people turning from hospitals having had surgeries and stuff. So it's very, very important um, to regrow the nervous system, because if the nerves are broken on many levels, especially through surgeries, that takes many, many years to regrow them, and we can accelerate that process so you feel better all of the time, because a lot of times also people experience post-traumatic consciousness that breaks them and doesn't particularly reshape them, and that is what we can do as well. So it would enable you merging technology with science through meditation, opens up the spiritual level, so the spiritual level comes to the forefront and teaches from the universes, because that is exactly what is happening. Eliminating the divide, bringing to the gathering means we eliminate the divide in the cellular construction first, starting with the hormonal content and the endocrine exocrine system. So it is also, I see people struggling a lot with responses we can change our response to anything in the outer world instantly, simply by applying some technology and breaking that. So energy can be recreated at any time, can be redirected, but it needs to start in the body. As I said, also with the food content, so we pay attention to protein, nutrients, and all that stuff. But here we're inverting everything. The highest missing link or level we need to dig into is to start out with the herbal kingdom. Then comes the vegetables, the plants, and the fruits, the seeds. And nowadays people start with the other foods and sometimes put some herbs in them, and the reason for that is as we regrowing worldwide the forest gardens, so the permaculture, so people can relearn what the origin of taste is, and that is very, very necessary. Knowing the origin of taste and moving into the higher levels of taste, that will assist people and stimulate people to change their diet completely, as there is a lot to learn. So it is recreating the internal way in order to get intelligence, creations, and new science down on the planet. So yeah, it's actually getting out of the mismanagement of thought patterns, the old mentality, the feeling, the old programming needs to go, because otherwise you keep on recycling and breeding that um, old program through actually. So, and that is reason why people instantly react the same way to the same problematic static. As if we look at society today with the pandemic going on, the reactions stay the same. Still, we move forward. We are taking more and more action, and so it's all about breaking the continuity of duality and opening up the universal continuum. And that is evolution that needs to move back into the brain and changing brain. So imagine students that become completely energy efficient, aligned to the light science, light technology, and so they wouldn't be able to cling on the old suffering. So we can become more and more conscious when opening up those levels of perception and increase muscular strength, increase your breathing strength, and also that means that your skills will grow every day in whatever you would like to create. And that is where it becomes essential to know knowledge, to know the application of knowledge. And from it comes a different outcome and comes more inventions. As my motto was always, create to invent, invent to create. And so that is when we have people with PSD, psychotic disorders, and so on, then there is instant healing. I've been having a lot of experiences with these people in my private sessions, and that is just moving them out of the old environment from birth on, even from in the womb. And when I delete that consciousness that was in the womb of the mother, then we can restore everything here, even like Alzheimer diseases and many other diseases. So technology and science need to go into the higher level of respect of what humanity is capable of. Starting out recalculating, the brain always recalculates with whatever thought form you put out. So if you change your thought forms, the brain recalculates automatic into a new lifestyle. And that is the beauty we have forgotten. People are afraid of the word math or geometry, but then again, we can start out with simple, very simple things. And when you see the changes with applying simple things in meditation, which is the origin of medication, then we can literally breathe through elements that we need to heal ourselves. So our breathing system can as well breathe through the higher level, what is called spiritual food, through the air, which is termed mana. And so we can go on and on and on, but then again, self-sustainability starts out with the deprogramming and the rewiring of the brain into its authentic consciousness and expanding that consciousness. With it comes finally the expansion of time, meaning in a whole day you have, like, if you work for 2 or 3 hours, you will feel like you've been working for 8 hours, which is great because you can get a lot more done. And that is what comes with it. And that is what will be needed in new businesses on earth that are co-creating that sustainability. So right here in Belgium, we are opening up to create a new light city, a light village actually, and gathering with people to discuss the options to where we would want to go, and eventually open up that light body first within in order to see the faculties, the capabilities, the skills of the people that would gather with us. So I think it's gonna be great, and eventually those projects should move into any educational institution on the earth plate right now.